What's up, guys? Today I just want to talk about two tokens that I love, and I want to compare the differences and show how, from my perspective at the moment right now, one's not necessarily better than the other, but they both have their differences that are worth noting. And those tokens are going to be the stopping of the burn for Safemoon and what that looks like for Safemoon, and the stopping of the burn for Evergrow Coin and what that looks like for Evergrow Coin. Evergrow Coin is weeks old. It's just getting started, but either way, it's worth talking about and making a video on. So as of right now, we're sitting at 514 trillion tokens that have already been burned. They burned half at launch, and then I believe we've been through around 14 trillion since then. And the burning mechanisms are completely different. So we're just going to compare, and like I said, they're both great, and I love both tokens. I don't think one's better than the other. It's just different investments that I have. I have all kinds of different investments. I don't care about putting down other tokens. I think that's just dumb and a waste of time. Like, just buy what you think is going to make you money. So the Safemoon burn, the Safemoon is at 426 trillion. So Safemoon's at 426 trillion, and Evergrow is at 514 trillion in the burn wallet. Safemoon's burn wallet does receive reflections, and Evergrow's burn wallet does not receive reflections, meaning that Safemoon's burn wallet grows by the percentage it owns to the total supply times 5% of daily volume. It's getting its percentage of 5% of all daily volume, and that's how it grows. With massive volume, that greatly accelerates at the rate at which Safemoon's burn rate is growing. So at the time, people are not receiving any reflections that are going to this wallet because this wallet does receive reflections. Because Evergrow Coins reflections are stopped, we are receiving a higher amount. And let's just use the one that Safemoon Mark made famous. For every $1 billion in volume, for every $1 billion in volume, for every billion tokens you hold, with Evergrow, you're getting 184, a little bit higher, dollars for every billion in volume. You're getting 184, and that's rewarded in a different token, which is BUSD. That's Binance Peg BUSD. And for Safemoon, for every billion in volume, you are getting $54. Because of all the other wallets that are excluded from receiving rewards right now. So with Safemoon and Evergrow, this is what your reflections look like for every billion in volume based on what is receiving rewards. I talk about this in my video on crypto control. Once you add consistent volume from utility, we will very quickly reach the stopping of the burn, where the price is going to have to go up, and once they stop the burn or decrease the percentage the burn wallet receives, everybody's going to see a huge increase in reflections. That could be years away. It just depends on how quickly we get to that. Once that happens, depending on when they stop it, if they stop it at 100 trillion, we have a chance for 10x, meaning that for every billion in volume, you'll see $500. Or we have a chance to 40x if they stop it at 25 billion after consolidation. And then you'll be seeing for every billion in volume, $2,000. So the potential to make huge reflections on Safemoon is huge once we just get real volume happening. Another thing about Safemoon's different is you get rewarded in Safemoon. So when you gain reflections, you grow in your own token. And some advantages to this is that if there's high volume at a low price, you get a ton of tokens. You get a lot more tokens than you would with high volume at a high price. So you do get a ton of tokens, and then you're able to increase the percent that you get next time. So as long as you're holding with Safemoon, you're constantly increasing the amount that you're going to get the next time you gain rewards. So as you hold with Safemoon, you have compounding exponential reflections that are constantly growing because other people are buying and selling. Other people are selling, and that's you're getting parts of everybody else's buys and sells. Safemoon has huge potential to be very rewarding when that day comes and its reflections are compounding. Evergrow works differently. That's why I say I don't want to say one's better than the other. These are just two tokens that I love, that I want to succeed. I want my Safemoon to blow up, and I want my Evergrow to blow up, and I want to make money off of both of these so I can help my family and so I can live a better life, just like everybody else wants to. Evergrow, as of right now, has the $184 per billion in volume per billion that you hold, because they both had a total supply of 1 quadrillion, except you receive your tokens in BUSD. And the positives of that is that you can reinvest that if the price goes down. Whereas with Safemoon, if you get your tokens and then the price goes down, the price of all your tokens goes down with it. You wouldn't be able to reinvest your Safemoon and buy a dip with your Safemoon. you'd have to bring out outside money. One of the positive things of the BUSD is that the value doesn't change. It's tied to the dollar. So if you see a dip, you can use your BUSD to buy more Evergrow and increase your bag. There's also a sense of security that at least you're getting away with this. I made a video on how long do you have to last to get your initial investment back. And it's actually not that long with Evergrow. It's only a certain amount of volume you have to make it through before you have your initial investment back in BUSD. This BUSD cannot go down. Evergrow coin could absolutely tank in price and your BUSD will be untouched. And you can either sell it, invest it in another token, or reinvest it into Evergrow to have a drastic increase on your bag size at a lower price. So for me, it is very comforting when you're investing in anything because we don't know the certainty of any token, whether it's going to go up or down or whether whales are going to keep selling or whether there's going to be a massive spike. So when you're getting your rewards into something else, it's a nice feeling of at least this is safe. So there's pros and cons to both sides. Safemoon is automatically compounding. You don't have to do anything, and it's exponential in that it's constantly growing it at the rate at which it's increasing its own bag size, while Evergrow has a safe investment that's separated from your initial investment that you can choose what you want to do with, whether it's to reinvest to keep those compounding, increasing reflections coming or rewards coming, or whether it's you just want to use it for something else. So Evergrow coin has something else about it that is such a big thing, in my opinion, that makes me love Evergrow coin. A couple things I just really love about it. One, the rewards are insane, and the buyback and burn. The buyback and burn. This is how Evergrow Coin's burn wallet increases. This is insane. This is one thing that just makes me love Evergrow Coin. So 3% of all volume. 3% of all volume goes to a wallet, and this wallet has an auto feature where it makes small buys, and it has a moonshot feature where it'll make one big buy. And the team controls the moonshot feature. They're not allowed to trade on that day so that they can't manipulate it or take advantage of the moonshot. So this is great that all volume, whenever you see a massive whale sell, they're contributing to this 3% that's going towards three amazing things that I've talked about. This is going to raise the price. Obviously, it's going to raise the price. So it raises the price. After it buys, it pumps the price for everybody. It sends it to the burn wallet. So by sending it to the burn wallet, it does two things. It decreases supply and it increases your reflections, your rewards. It's happening constantly, and it happens with big moonshot buybacks. The moonshot buybacks are saved for time, so it's constantly building up, and if there's ever any huge tanking of the price, they use the moonshot. I mean, they can use it whenever they want. They could even wait for the price to go up a lot and say, hey, let's moonshot this as well. It's up to the team. I think they try to use it strategically to keep hope in the project for those times. So we actually have quite a lot saved up in that buyback and burn mechanism. So I really love this because this has three effects on your bag. It raises the price, so it raises the value of your bag. It decreases the supply, which actually has an effect of raising the value of your bag because now you own more to the total supply than you did before because the total supply has been decreased. And it increases the amount of reflections you gain because those tokens were gaining reflections, but now because they're being sent to the burn wallet, they no longer gain reflections, and now everybody else's reflections are constantly increasing. One thing that we'd be looking at is that as this number grows, we have potential to see the same thing where we saw over here, depending on how quickly we go, what kind of volume we see. If we get to a point where we get to 800, 900 or plus trillion tokens that are in the burn wallet, then the team would have to consider possibly what do they do with this buyback and burn mechanism. And there is great potential here. I have no idea what the team has planned, but if we ever got to a point where they're like, hey, we don't want to burn this much and we need to slow or stop it because, well, first of all, if we reach that point, your reflections would be insane. They would be bigger than the 40x here. If we stopped it at 25 billion, it would be bigger than Safemoons because it would not only just be 40x, but Safemoon is 5% that goes to holders, and Evergrow is 8% that goes to holders. Evergrow is not doing a consolidation, so I was using the 25 billion. It'd be 25 trillion because Evergrow at this moment is not doing a consolidation. So it'd be 25 trillion. 8% of 25 trillion would be 40x from where we're at. And that number for Safemoon is the 2000, and the number for Evergrow would be, if Evergrow ever reached that 25 trillion mark, the 25 billion mark for Safemoon since they're consolidating, it would be $3,200 per billion in Evergrow, per billion in volume. So both have massive potential for huge rewards to holders. The difference with Safemoon is that we are working our way towards this point where we do increase our reflections. With Evergrow, as we're working towards the stopping of the burn, whatever that number is, you're constantly being rewarded on the way. It's growing and growing and growing on your way to the point where they have to decide if they need to stop it or not. Whereas with Safemoon, until they decide to either decrease the percentage or stop the burn, your reflections are the same until that point happens. The great thing about Safemoon is that with volume, it exponentially increases at the rate at which it reaches that point, so it could happen very fast. Evergrow is doing the 3% that's going to the buyback and burn, so if we do see massive volume, it's always going to be 3%, and we do see trillions being burnt. So if Evergrow ever gets consistent volume, then they probably will have to also look at stopping the buyback and burn. One last thing that I think about with Evergrow, I don't know what the team has in mind, but if they got to a point where they did have to stop the burn, boom, we're seeing, you know, $3,200 if they stop it at 25 trillion. Either way, it's a lot. It's huge reflections. If they do decide to stop it, it would no longer be a buyback and burn mechanism. It would have to be a buyback and something else mechanism. And I can think of two great things that could be really good for that. One would be to buy back and put the tokens into the liquidity pool to increase our liquidity, which helps the price, helps stabilize the price, and protects us from huge sells. The more liquidity we have, the less impact a sell has on the price. Or they could do buyback and reflect, or buyback and reward, so that it raises the price and then it divides that sell that it just had to all holders. Now that might not be a huge amount, but it could still be done. Or they could do half, you know, half is sent to liquidity pool, half is sent to rewards. They have potential to do insane things here if they ever reach a point where they're going to stop the burn. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.